Oh hey YouTube, what's really good? I'm in Vivid Color, coach of the South Texas Sableyes, and I am very behind in uploading all of these league battles, so I'm going to do something that I haven't done before, specifically for these next two battles of the PLL, so weeks 6 and 7 I believe. 8 and 9 have not been done yet. They will be done before I believe next Saturdays when they're due. We had another bye week just because there was a lot of sort of chaos going on in the league, but I'm going to condense these two battles into one video. I just can't fathom getting all of the videos that I'm behind on done and put out on time without sort of doing this. So these two are going to go up, and then the PGBL, there was supposed to be weeks 10 and 11. Week 11 we played, there was a disconnect. I'll explain it in the PGBL video. So basically you're going to see this video. This is going to be PLL. This is going to be week 6 versus Kaninja, coach of the Los Angeles Wind Padres. Is that name right? I have this open. Let me make sure I have team names right. It's specifically Kaninja. I don't know the name of his team 100% though. Kaninja, Los Angeles Wind Padres. So we're not doing bad. We're off to a good start. And then also week 7 versus Apple Code, coach of the, and I don't know this one at all, the Chicago Black Sparks. So there you go. This is a great way to intro a video, you know, just like, all right, I don't actually know the names of these coaches' teams. So I'm gonna try and do these videos in one take. I'm also not really going to sort of like go over the team matchups like I normally do at the beginning of things. I'm just going to sort of talk about, like, I'm going to say what each coach brought, what I brought, and then we're just going to get right into reacting to the video. I normally do like 17 takes of these. If I mess up on the intro, I try to restart. If I mess up while reacting to the video, I try to restart. And hold on one second, actually, just... Holy God. What is, there's tea bags in here. That's why I'm not getting any liquid. I also tried not to take drinks, but I'm too far removed from caring. It's not that I don't care because I want to get it out. It's that I need to get this out. So anyways, we're gonna do Connor's battle first. This, like I said, this was week 6, and the team Connor is bringing is going to be Cyndaquil, Alolan Geodude, Alolan Sandshrew, Amira, Diglett, and Fungus. So looking at this team, it's really good. The Hail Core is there, so the Sandshrew can outspeed my entire team, basically. If Hail is up, I don't have anything that can sort of like get around that. Like, I don't think even Elekid Choice Scarfed manages to outspeed Sandshrew and Hail. So Little Cup is a very strange place. Not that I think that like it would work if we were level 50 or anything. Just I would have to basically like agility with something. So we're gonna be bringing the Krogunk, the Doduo, the Bronzor, the Alolan Meowth, which has been, I think, my favorite Pokemon in this league, the Cutiefly, and the Elekid. So I haven't watched this battle in a very long time. I don't remember it at all. We're gonna react to this, and then immediately after this, we're gonna react to the battle with Apple Code. And this is actually gonna be a reaction. Like, I'm not going to be able to tell you like, yeah, I think I was planning to do this, or yeah, I had every intention to do that. Like, it's gonna be a hard reaction because I'm very lost here. So let's do this. Let's get into this. This will be good times. Connor, you've got to change this hat. This hat looks very bad, friendo. All right, so like I said, no, I didn't say this. So we're gonna end up leading off with Krogunk. I don't know why I said like I said. And then we see this Peter Quill. Now I remember debating on whether or not to stay in, and this is a very specially defensive Krogunk, and I knew that I could live an overheat, as absurd as that is. Not an overheat, a eruption. Did not think about extra sensory, so Krogunk lives up to its name of just coming in and dying. And I was gonna like be able to kill this thing in 2 hits, basically. Like, I was gonna be able to chunk it and then take it out. I remember that specifically because I had a lot of priority attacks. I know I had Vacuum Wave, so I think the play was to Drain Punch then Vacuum Wave, like guaranteed a kill. We're gonna go out into our Alolan Meowth here. The hidden power is Hidden Power Rock, I believe. I knew I needed something to be able to hit the Cyndaquil with. He brings in this Fungus. I'm gonna go for the Parting Shot. I have some tech sort of to be able to deal with this thing just going for spores. Like, this thing is Vital Spirit, so we can't be put to sleep. And then I have one other piece of tech. Oh, the Cutiefly is Aroma Veil, so it can also not be put to sleep. So we're gonna bring this in. We're gonna go for the Psychic. I do believe this week I am Choice Scarfed. Not Choice Scarfed, Choice Specs. Yeah, we don't see Life Orb, so we are Choice Specs. We unfortunately get poisoned by this thing, which is pretty bad. It puts me on a timer. The reason I didn't want Life Orb was because he didn't have a fantastic ground type to bring. So I knew I could just bring this thing Specs and it would be fantastic. He's going to bring out the Cyndaquil again. I know. Oh no, we're not Specs. Oh, we're Expert Belt. There we go. We're definitely Expert Belt. This Hidden Power, clearly not Hidden Power Rock or Ground. I'm pretty sure this one is Hidden Power Ice. It's Hidden Power Ice or Grass. I don't recall entirely, but it's one of those two. So I'm just going to opt to let Elekid go down here. I know that might have not been the best play, but it was so low and it was on a timer that it didn't need to be on. Like the poison was pretty rough there. So we're going to bring out our Doduo. We're going to go for Quick Attack, knowing that it's going to chunk this thing. We can pretty safely assume this thing is Scarfed based on sort of that outspeed. It's not even safe to assume. It's just 100% is Scarfed, right? Is that correct? I think so. So, whew, am I missing something at this point? I don't know. We're in a weird state right now where we're reacting to this. I definitely predict a switch here. I go straight for a Jump Kick. And we just take this thing out because this thing would have been able to take sort of like a Quick Attack really well, which a Quick Attack would have killed the Cyndaquil. Also, had I just opted for Brave Bird, the Cyndaquil is not Scarfed, I don't believe. Yeah, I'm lost. I'm lost now. I don't know what item the Cyndaquil is because I don't remember if I outsped it with Elekid or not. See, this is why you don't typically react to these things. Either way, we're gonna bring out our Bronzor here. He has his Diglett in. I know this is fine. He can't actually Earthquake me, but he reveals the Shadow Claw, which I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I didn't know Diglett had claws to shadow with. You know what I mean? We're going to set up our Stealth Rocks, predicting a switch here. The switch didn't happen because I didn't know this thing had Shadow Claw. He goes for Shadow Claw again. This will proc our Berry Juice as long as it doesn't get a crit. He fails the crit, thank God, because I know Shadow Claw has a high crit rate. And just the hacks would have been the last thing we needed right now. So we go up to full. I know Heavy Slam is going to do a ton to this Diglett because Diglett weighs nothing, even though it randomly has claws to shadow with for some reason. Right now, Connor is very ahead just because I just threw away my Krogunk turn one, which makes no sense, by the way. Like, Krogunk destroyed his Hail Core. Like, Krogunk destroyed the Sandshrew and Krogunk destroyed the Amira. Like, Krogunk decimated that. I had no reason to even put it at risk turn one. I don't know what I was thinking there. Anyways, goes for another Shadow Claw. We recycle our Berry Juice, so we're basically back up to full. We have a Berry Juice again. We can go for another Heavy Slam, take this thing out. It's pretty huge because this thing gets to trap a lot of my Pokemon and just deal with them, and it no longer can do that. Hold on, I'm gonna take another drink. You know, this is kind of liberating, being able to just take drinks whenever I want. I normally don't do that, and now I'm doing it. Whew, okay. The Stealth Rocks fails to kill the Cyndaquil. It's living on probably 2 HP if we're being real. I know that I can live just about anything by switching into my Alolan Meowth. We do manage to dodge this Fire Blast, which is a pretty big deal. Okay, so this thing is Scarfed. It is Scarfed because it would not outspeed my Alolan Meowth otherwise. The dodge was pretty big there, I won't lie. If we had not dodged, we couldn't have got a second attack off. I'm glad that that was finally confirmed. I can't believe I spent so much time talking about it now. He goes out to this thing. I have sort of like another piece of tech as to not get spored. He ends up opting just to switch, which makes a lot of sense here, if we're being honest. Also, I completely remember right now, I'm pretty sure the Alolan Meowth's Hidden Power is Hidden Power Fighting. I'm pretty sure it's Hidden Power Fighting. Also, that was really strange. I don't know if you saw that, but oh, it's because, okay, so the way Citra works is you add sort of like backgrounds to it if the scene doesn't have a background. So we're on a dock, right? It started to hail, so we went up to the sky, and I guess the background doesn't transition to there, so you saw the previous turn, next turn thing. That was really strange. Anyways, we got into this thing thinking it can't touch us. Amira randomly gets Dark Pulse, something I just didn't know. It's fine. We have our Berry Juice, right? Or no. Our Berry Juice is consumed, and this flinch actually costs us quite a bit. Like, we would have been able to take this thing out with the Heavy Slam had we not gotten flinched. Like, had we not gotten flinched, this thing would be done. And I still have Z Parting Shot, so I can still, like, 100% get my Bronzor back in. Because my Bronzor also messes up the Sandslash, or the Sandshrew and the Amira. We go out into Cutie Fly knowing we can catch an outspeed because we know at this point that this thing is not Choice Scarfed, and we get frozen. So now we've been flinched once, we've been frozen, and we just threw away our Krogunk turn 1, which was not any sort of hacks or any random element of the game. It was just poor. So I'm going to set up my sticky webs here to make sure that I can outspeed everything reasonably. I still won't be able to outspeed the Sandshrew in Hail, but it'll give me reasonable outspeeds. Also, did you see the background keeps clipping into like I'll have to remember not to use these settings again. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. We're going to go out into our Alolan Meowth here. This is my time to Z parting shot. I know that 100%. I need to do that. It's my only chance, I believe, or is that the playmaking here? I do believe so, but I'm not like 100%. So we'll find out. I'm reacting to this. I don't know what's happening. I think this is my moment to Z parting shot. It is. So I can Z parting shot into Bronzor here, but since he switched out into Fungus, it was his best switch 100%. Like had he switched out into the Alolan Sandshrew or just stayed in with Amira, we would have been fine. Like he basically would have had to have predicted this and then gone for the, what was it, Dark Pulse on the Amira, or was it Shadow? I think it was Dark Pulse because it got a flinch. It was definitely Dark Pulse. So we're gonna Z parting shot. We're gonna go back out into our Bronzor. We're gonna go up to full, but now we're in against this thing and we can't really be put to sleep. So I think I take a bit here in real life, like when this battle is actually happening, I'm contemplating like what do I do? Like what is the play here? And I'm still trying to find a way to win this game because he can still set up the Hail again once the Hail dips. He still has the Sandshrew in the back, which kills most of my team, mind you. And I just don't have a ton going on. I go out into Nemo here knowing that, okay, if he spores me, I'm just gonna die to the Hail anyways. I sack this thing off. It probably wasn't the best play to sack this thing off because outside of I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Sandshrew outspeeds in Hail, even after Sticky Webs, but a Hidden Power fighting would have been able to take out both the Amira and the Sandshrew. So I don't know. I go into Pepper here, knowing that I can Brave Bird this thing into Oblivion, and I have to make that play because it's the only play that actually kills the Fungus. But this is another Pokemon that, had it been at a higher amount of health, it could have cleaned up for me. Like it one-shot both the Amira and the Sandshrew as well. So now it's Bronzor versus the world. I think I can win. I'm still in a spot where I think I have a chance, right? Because Heavy Slam decimates the Amira. 100% decimates the Amira. And then I just have to worry about the Sand Slash. I keep saying Sand Slash. I just have to worry about what the Sandshrew has. So Heavy Slam, I think 2-shots the Sandshrew, if I'm not incorrect, or maybe I am. Either way, I can still, it's clipped into that. That's awful. I'm not gonna redo this. I won't do it. So I'm pretty sure that we either 2-shot the Sandshrew or we can just like kind of stall it out with Recycle Tricks. But we get flinched here, and that is gonna be the GG. I was clicking Recycle here. I don't know how relevant it was, just because I was basically in a point where I had to stall out Hail turns. I had to. And I also needed this thing to get a low roll for me to even be able to kill it and then kill the Sandshrew. So it was very well played by Connor. There was a reasonable amount of hacks that happened that I think were kind of tilting. Like I remember I was pretty mad at the end of this game, but anyways, good game to Connor. The link to Connor's battle video will be in the description down below. Definitely go watch it. Go show him some love. He is not a fan of getting hacks. I know he's not. He like apologized as soon as the battle was over. And I was like, I don't know. I salted off more about this battle than I have in a long time. If I would have been recording it live, you would have seen me like throw my stylus on the desk and be like, I'm done with this game. But anyways, let's get right into the next battle. Okay, so the second battle, like I said, is going to be versus Applecode and his Chicago Black Sparks. Now, Apple is going to be bringing the Chimchar, the Tentacle, the Timber, the Alolan Vulpix, and we just faced Hail, so we're not super ecstatic to be, facing it back to back. It's just not great. Onyx and the Electrike. And this week, to counter that, I'm going to be bringing the Alolan Meowth, the Deerling, the Wooper, the Cutiefly, the Doduo, and the Bronzor. This is, I think, one of the most awkward sort of conglomerations. Is that the right word I'm looking for here? Like the most awkward builds of my team that I've brought so far. I thought that Deerling would be excellent because he has a Snivy, and he just didn't bring it. Like, Contrary Snivy is a monster, and Deerling is really, really good against it, and he just didn't bring it. It just didn't happen. And I was so looking forward to just like sap sippering. That's not intelligible, but I'm gonna roll with it. I was looking forward to sap sippering a Leaf Storm. Is it Leaf Storm? Is it Leaf Storm? I think it's Leaf Storm. Whichever one is like 1,000,000 base power and lowers your special attack by 2 stages. But in the case of Snivy, raises it by 2 stages. Oh man, this is going off without a hitch. It was the best post commentary video I've ever posted. Anyways, let's just jump into this. We're gonna react to this one as well. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen these, so we're just gonna be doing it. I hope the background is not messed up in this one. Let's do this thing. Let's actually just react to this battle. Oh, you can see my mouse there. I don't want you to see my mouse ever again. I'm too professional for that. There's always like a little bit of lag at the beginning of these battles. I'm just gonna rock with it. I normally like cut here. I might still cut here. Who knows? Oh, the hearts! The heart background is the best. It's the best. The heart background. This is the best. I don't know if this exists in the Pokemon game somewhere, but if it doesn't, it really should. All right, so we led with our Alolan Meowth. It's a really just like staple good lead. I don't know why I didn't lead this against Connor. I could have just not let my let my Krogunk die turn 1. So we're gonna go with the fake out straight into the parting shot, knowing that if we outspeed, that means 100% this thing is not scarfed. So we find that out turn 1. It's not scarfed. We go out into Sala, the beautiful Wooper, hoping this thing is not packing Kin Power Grass. He just goes for a U-turn. We thought we were getting momentum. He was actually getting momentum. I kind of predicted him to set up rocks there. But also I just wanted to like get out of there. Like really Alolan Meowth is just very good because it has parting shot. He gets to go out into his Vulpix here. I like everything. Every time I bring Wooper, I'm just like, all right, so who has Hidden Power Grass? You know, I always have to check for it. I have to check for it because Wooper checks so many things that if I let it die to a random Hidden Power Grass, it's just not good. So we're gonna go out into Bronzor. We see a Blizzard. We know that we can eat this fairly well. It's not gonna be a big deal. We just hope we don't get frozen. And we're just gonna be here. And we know that if this thing is any kind of choiced, we just force it out right here. Since he switches, we can pretty safely assume that he's choiced. I mean, this thing gets coverage on Bronzor specifically. So the fact that he just switched, I mean, also maybe he was worried that he wouldn't be able to kill it. He goes out into his Electrike here. We know that Electrike gets access to things like Overheat and Flamethrower or Fire Blast maybe. I don't know. So we can't stay in, unfortunately. Our Alloy is just gonna have to switch out. It's fine because we have the beautiful Nemo to come on in here and eat whatever this thing wants to do. So it's gonna go for the Flamethrower. That will connect. And most weeks I run a Alolan Meowth. I run it max HP, max speed. I don't really ever need it to do a ton of damage. I just need it to be able to get in, eat up hits, and then pivot out. Now we're in a position though where if this thing is scarfed, it's gonna outspeed me and it's gonna be able to decimate my life. So we go for the fake out here, and I really can't risk Nemo dying right now. So we're just gonna go on to Sala. If this thing is choiced, this will definitely force it out because this thing could be packing Hidden Power Grass, but with it being choiced, we know that it has to switch here. So we go into Sala. Now I'm pretty sure this turn I end up clicking Yawn. If it's not choiced and it's like Expert Belt or something, he just gets to get me here, right? Like I just get got. So we click Yawn on this thing. We see that it switches out. So we can pretty safely assume that his Vulpix and his Electrike are both choice. He switches into this thing. We Yawn it. So now this turn, I just want to switch out, get out of here, come on into Lemon Drop, expecting him to switch, and then I can set up my Sticky Webs. But he actually stays in and goes for Drain Punch, which I think is really interesting. Just because the Timber is really good against my team. Like, I didn't expect it to be as good as it is against my team until I got into sort of team preview. Once I was there, I was like, man, I really don't have a ton of fantastic answers to this thing. Like Cutie Fly is one of them, but it's not even like a setup Cutie Fly. It's just kind of a normal set. So we're gonna set up our Sticky Webs here. Onyx is also very problematic just because it's a really bulky Pokemon that gets access to sturdy berry juice, which means I need to chip away at its health first. Like I have to chip it first and then try and OHKO it from there. Otherwise I have to kill it basically 3 times. Like I would have to kill it 3 times to actually get rid of it. He sets up Stealth Rocks. I don't actually have a way to remove hazards this week other than Defog on Cutie Fly. So the only way we're getting rid of the hazards is by switching back into Cutie Fly, getting chunked, and it's just not great. He switches out into this Electrike. Oh, excuse me. I predict that and I go for Psychic because I predict him to sort of like assume I'll just go for Heavy Slam. The Electric dies, so this is really good. This is, I believe, the first death of this game. Like, I didn't just randomly lose something turn 1 like I did against Connor. So we feel like we're, you know, we're alive. We're alive. The Rafiki gets to come in here, and we know he can click U-turn, he can click Flare Blitz. We want to try and figure out what kind of set this is, just because it's very important to how I can deal with it. So we bring in Salah. He just goes for the fake out, so I'm like, okay, it's fake out. It's probably a lead set. We know it has fake out U-turn. Can I just stay in and go for a slack off? Is that the move? Slack off or a cover? I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure it's a cover. I should know these things off the top of my head, but I don't. Also, I'm gonna take a drink, so you know, I'll be right back. He goes for U-turn, which I think is like a little bit of a strange play, just because he could have gone for almost actual anything else, and probably killed my Salah from the range, because I think it was at 9 HP before he went for U-turn, so that did 5. So imagine if he just like went for Flare Blitz or something. I don't know, really strange. So he brings out this thing. I go straight out into Pepper. The Doduo, knowing that Doduo decimates this thing's life, like 100% just ends its life. He's still asleep. And this is a turn where I make a really big, nope. That's foreshadowing. I'm gonna make a really big misplay later on down the road. It's 100% foreshadowing. I'm gonna make a really big misplay later on down the road, just so you know, I'm just trying to warn you so you don't get caught off by it. I go for Brave Bird, which was the correct play. Like, even if he'd had Mach Punch, it wouldn't have been able to take me out from that range. And that Brave Bird does so much to Onyx, but it's a critical hit, so of course it does. Still, when I saw the damage, I was like, holy God, is Doduo a legend? Anyways, so here we're just gonna go for the jump kick, because jump kick actually has a chance to kill Onyx from this range. He switches out into Vulpix, which I'm just like, all right, this thing is getting jump kicked. It's gonna get deaded. As long as we don't miss this, it's a gone. That Vulpix is Gone Girl. Have you ever read that book, Gone Girl, or watched the movie with yeah, I don't remember the actor or the actress's name in that movie. It's Ben Affleck, right? I don't know. The moral of the story is Gone Girl. Okay, so he goes back out into his Rafiki here. It's slowed, so we know we outspeed, like, no matter what, but he gets a fake out off on us. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, I can probably almost definitely take this thing out with quick attack. I'm also getting chipped for my entire life. My entire life is being chipped away from me. He withdraws, and I'm pretty sure we just end up going for a roost here, because I needed to be at a higher amount of health than I was. Doduo is a really solid win con at this point. Like, Doduo deals with almost the rest of his team like unchecked. It's not even close. Like, Doduo deals with almost the rest of his entire team unchecked. The only thing that could hinder me is if I get low enough, and then the Mach Punch from the Timber takes me out. So he switches out into his Onyx. He has to withdraw here because he knows I have Jump Kick, and Jump Kick will 100% obliterate this Onyx. I go for the Jump Kick. It does a pretty decent chunk to this Tentacle, especially since it was resisted, but I know Tentacle cannot live at Brave Bird, so we're just gonna fire off the Brave Bird here. And had he went for a switch back into Onyx, taking the Brave Bird, dropped to half health, and then reactivated Sturdy, would have been so good. Like, would have been good plays. I think that play is kind of hard to make in this spot, because if I just go for another Jump Kick, you lose your Onyx, but still, if he just predicted me to go for Brave Bird there and gone out to Onyx to activate his Berry Juice, would have been very, very good for him. So here he goes out to Timber, and this is the turn where I make a very unfortunate misplay. Like I've already said, like, Doduo unchecked takes the rest of his team out. Like, super takes the rest of his team out. I go for Roost because my line of thought here is he's not gonna, or if he doesn't wake up, being at a higher amount of health and then Brave Birding the next turn is better. But he does wake up and he goes for Ice Punch instead of Mach Punch. My line was, okay, so if he wakes up and goes, he's gonna go for Mach Punch turn 1, no matter what, because it would take me out. Instead, he went for Ice Punch, Mach Punch, which ended up taking me out. The 100% correct line would have just been to Brave Bird and knock this thing out, because it's at full health and it's a threat to my team. Like, I don't know. That's all I had to do, realistically. So we got to go out in a limit drop here. We go for a Moonblast. I know it's not going to take this thing out, because we can pretty much guarantee this thing's EVOI. We see it does a good amount of damage, but it's not enough. We can eat an Ice Punch. We can eat one Ice Punch. That's not a problem, but we can't eat an Ice Punch, Mach Punch. So now I'm in a situation where, okay, I have Deerling left, I have Sallow left, and I have a Alolan Meowth left. And 2 of those things are weak to Mach Punch. I switch out a Deerling here. And this was, I think, another misplay. I think that I should have just stayed in here, but then I realized that I had a chance to die to Mach Punch, so I switched out, but not thinking about how rocks would affect this. The chance to die to Mach Punch there was very slim, as the chance to die to Mach Punch after switching back into rocks is much greater, because rocks, I think, chipped for 2 damage, and Mach Punch like maxed out at 21 damage. So it had a chance to OHKO, but it wasn't great. So we switch into Sala. We go for an Earthquake here, which I think is another misplay. Like, I think I probably just should have went for a recover here. I'm sort of on tilt because I've let my Doduo die for just not good reasoning. Like, the idea never should have been if he wakes up and goes for Mach Punch, I die anyway, so go for Roost. The thing should have been if he doesn't wake up, Brave Bird kills him and I sack my Doduo off, but that's fine. That should have been the line that I took 100%. So now we're in a position where just a fake out plus a U-turn, if you remember, U-turn does about 5 damage, will kill me, or just like actual any attack this thing has. And my entire team from this point is super susceptible to just Mach Punch from Timber, which is unfortunate. It's not a fortunate thing. Like, we saw Bronzer in the back, but I mean, we're also susceptible to just knockoff from this thing. It's caught in the sticky web, so I'm thinking like, okay, maybe my Bronzor outspeeds. Maybe, I don't know what his speed investment is. If it's minimal, like actual 0 speed investment, we outspeed. He ended up going for the knockoff and clinched the outspeed. It was either a speed tie there or he had like a minimal amount of speed investment. I'm unclear. We get O-Code, which was also a high roll, like after looking at calcs. So we're not in the best spot here. We go out into Fawn, and like I said, just this thing at 21, we had a much higher chance of living than we do now that we're at 19. And then this is actually the game. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, my Meowth has fake out. I can still win this because fake out will kill this thing with the amount of investment that I put into this Alolan Meowth. He makes the read, he switches. That was my actual out. Was Alolan Meowth outsped the rest of his team and was able to run through it. And he made the right plays. He made the right plays. And had I just been like a fake out feint Alolan Meowth, we still would have been able to run through this. We would have been fine. Oh, weird. That was a weird throat thing that just happened. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant even a little bit. That was very unpleasant, in fact. So anyways, if we had just had feint on the Meowth, which was something that I was contemplating bringing before the match, we would have been fine. But we ended up getting swept by this Timber. Timber actually killed 5 of my Pokemon. If you do the math, it killed actual 5 of them. And I was really depressed after this one because I just made a misplay. Like, I mean, two big ones, I think. The first one was switching out the Deerling the turn I switched it in, because I should have never switched it in if I'd planned on switching it out. Like, that was just a really big misplay. I should have just rolled the dice and went with an attacking move there. And then the second big misplay, really the first one chronologically at least, was just not clicking Brave Bird on the Doduo, because I mean, under any circumstance, that would have been the optimal play, which is getting rid of the Timber, because the rest of my team checks the rest of his team pretty hard. Like, he did not have much going for him at that point. I think he had specifically a Onix and if I'd killed the Timber, he had an Onix and the Chimchar left. So it would have been much, much, much better to just eliminate the Timber from the picture. Anyways, that is going to be the week 6 and 7 battles for the PLL. Thank God I'm getting this video filmed and caught up. PGVL should be up shortly after this. I'm sort of like getting all this footage and my stuff with me so I can edit on the road tomorrow. But whew, all right, we're really out here doing it. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you hate the fact that I crammed 2 of these into the same video, let me know. I'm sorry. It really couldn't be helped. So I hope you enjoyed watching 2 weeks worth of content in one battle. Links to Connor and Apple's videos will be in the description down below. Let's see. Like this video if you like me. Comment if you want to talk to me and tell me I'm bad. I'll heart your comment. All you have to do is say, wow, Vivid, you're so bad. Subscribe if you're new. And also, I filmed the vlog earlier this week, so I think I'm going to be posting that, which is cool. I'm kind of excited that some of these leagues are winding down. Like I've got 2 more weeks of battles to do for the PLL. The PGBL is entering the playoffs, but I'll talk about that in the PGBL video. And then, yeah, we lost in the playoffs at the XBL, but so far we're living up to our reputation of making playoffs each league. I just, you know, never missed. Never missed playoffs. Never will. I'm kind of done here and I gotta leave. Bye.